Universal for distance learning routines. Routines are taught and practiced. Being intentional about developing routines for both adults and students, teaching these routines and allowing time for practice and feedback is what we're talking about here. In face-to-face, this looks like your morning routines, your clear procedures for all those classroom processes and spaces. Those are the things that we teach by modeling guided practice, independent practice. We have kids repeat them over and over. Let's do it again, those kinds of things. They create consistency, organization, and respect within the classroom environment. And whenever appropriate, you want to include student voice in these, of course. What it can look like through distance learning is a different issue. So for synchronous learning, here's where we're going to ask students for ideas to include student voice on any of the procedures, but we always start with our own procedures that are necessary. So for instance, to participate in the virtual learning environment, we want to explicitly teach the norms with the students and the home supports. We want to standardize the routines and procedures, and then we review them. And of course, we want clear roles, expectations, norms for adults, teachers, paraprofessionals, related services, personnel. And finally, we want to make sure that everything that we're talking about is visually accessible, both digitally or, if needed, hard copies are provided. What can it look like in asynchronous versions of this? In the asynchronous versions where we're not live and meeting with the kids, here again, we can ask for students to share ideas about what would make it easier next time and include their voice. We can include procedures that are necessary to participate with the digital tools like the online activities or how to use the learning management system that's being used. We want to standardize our routines and procedures and then review them. We know that in effective asynchronous learning, there are clear roles, expectations, and norms for the adults as well as the students. So making sure we work with our paraprofessionals and our SLPs and other related service personnel that we're all on board with, that we're running things the same way and we're using the asynchronous tools the same way. And then, of course, it needs to be visually accessible every time. What are some examples of the synchronous examples? This would be the entering and leaving the meetings, the procedures for the activities themselves, if you're using raising hands or gestures, any digital tools like that, how you want to recognize somebody before they talk, how you're going to stack them up maybe and say, I'm going to take so-and-so and so-and-so. And then also reducing background interruptions would be other examples of some of these tools. In the asynchronous world, these may be things of when and how to turn in work, the procedures for uploading documents or pictures, preparing and charging technology devices, so reminding that they need to have those charged before they start, or how to do it if it's a device that, for instance, an OGCOM device. And then suggestions on minimizing distractions. So all of these would be part of those routines that we would want to remind our students about and have in place for asynchronous learning. For more information or support in planning any of these things, please reach out to our district's technical assistance team. Thank you.